High school ball at Montfort Academy, the powerhouse here in Florida. Did well to get to the rim and then missed the left-handed layup.
Coming up a 9-assist performance against Wake Forest.
Nice block, and that's a held ball as nicely done. Isaiah Wong. He's added muscle from his freshman year to this year, and that was on display there. Nice beat, back and forth they go. Dusty, another fifth-year senior, played very well lately, especially nearly 17 per game over the last 3. He's a transfer from Oklahoma, played 2 years there, sat out here 1 year as a redshirt, and now is his second year playing as a Hurricane. Jalen Johnson, no.
He's worked on. I don't know about that one. There was an awful lot of contact when he was going up.
Johnson got his own rebound and scored. Johnson got his own rebound and scored. Games. Duke won both meetings last year by double figures. They've won the last 4 against the Canes overall. This is the only regular season meeting. 18 lead changes in this game. Tight throughout. Largest lead for each team, 6 points. Miami's in the first half, and Duke's in the early stages of the second half. Jalen Johnson working on Nasir Brooks, took a bump and got out.
Tim Stoddard played on that NC State team, won the national championship.
DJ Stewart a miss, but Jalen Johnson attacks. Olani saved it. Well, has now made 12 of his last 13. Miami by 5, inching closer to what would be a huge upset, having lost 4 in a row, all by double digits. Jalen Johnson inside his time off the clock, and they get it to Wong, who knocks down a deep 2.
Are you kidding me? The crossover step back against Wendell Moore by Isaiah Wong. That was big time. What a great play.
Instead of, are you kidding me, in the spirit of the evening, we should have said, surely you can't be serious. Jalen Johnson, nice move, and
Miami has a couple of fouls to give as well. So you don't want to let Duke, you don't want to foul, but you don't want to let him have anything easy either.
Jalen Johnson powers his way to the bucket again. Brooks for Walker. Prior to that stretch, he had been in double figures in 4 for his entire career.
What a block by Brooks. That's why he was put.
Off the steal. Johnson punches it.
Shooter. I think that's really the only reason he's not projected in our top 5. But you see glimpses of Ben Simmons in the open court, or a young Boris Diaw, or Aaron Gordon. So teams really like his floor because of the versatility.
Mike, when you consider, Jalen, and to me, the best part of his game is actually his passing ability. When you look at him, is he a guy, and you mentioned?
Well, he's still improving defensively as a passer in the toughness department, but certainly you can see him projecting as kind of a stretch 4 at the next level. And then DJ Stewart is a guy I've always been high on when you look toward the future. I'm not sure he's a this-year guy, but he's a jet with the basketball. He's ultra-skilled, and he's improving as a shooter.
He's 7th in the country in free throws attempted.
Well, a lot of that has to do with their youth. So you consider that oftentimes young players want to attack with the jump shot, but Jalen Johnson males out of bad situations, and not only helping them on the court, but helping them become better people, and more importantly, using education as the key to being able to do so. I'm a very good friend with many of Coach Chaney's former players, Eric Brunson, Eddie Jones, Aaron McKee, Deion Dakins. And when you think about what he was about, education first.
He's carved out a nice niche in the NBA for himself as well.
Well, now, see, you're big on that because you want to refer to the first school, but yet that's not always the case. You always want to go to the high school where they attended first, not the high school where they graduated from. So are you giving Duke credit for Semi Ojeleye in comparison to SMU?
No, not at all. And it's not about the first. It's about not forgetting where they're from. He is a former Blue Devil, regardless of whether you want to say he was a Mustang or not. I getting where they're from. He is a former Blue Devil, regardless of whether you want to say he was a Mustang or not.
The ACC in three-point shooting. Blue Devils have it now after the initial miss, and in the front court, here's Roach.
It's interesting to see. Interesting to see Duke with his starting lineup go back to that man-to-man. Foul trouble's been the issue, particularly with guys like Matthew Hurt and Jalen Johnson who have to carry the load down low.
And Jalen Johnson.
And the tip controlled by Jalen Johnson, and Big Monday is underway. Jordan Goldwire guarded by Harlan Beverly. Goldwire and DJ Stewart, the backcourt. Hurt, Johnson, and Wendell Moore Jr.
Himself, he doesn't have to outlet it.
Harlan Beverly, the bucket for the Canes to put Miami back up by 1. You can see there's plenty of talent on this Miami team. Unfortunately, just not a lot of depth. DJ Stewart. And that's a 3.
Go get the ball from Brooks, who had picked up his dribble and forced further out on the floor to be able to get a layup out of that. Really nice job by Elijah Olaniyi.
Speaking with Jim Larinaga, Jay, they had so much optimism when they started preseason practice with all 5 starters back, 4 of them seniors. That's a travel.
Says a lot about how tough that team is. But, Sean, it's really remarkable. I mean, Miami is off to a great start. But Miami hadn't scored 60 points in a game in their last 4, and I'm not sure have they reached 25.
No, this is the first time now in the last 5 games. The previous 4 games they did not reach 25 points in the first half. Beverly, strong drive, but couldn't score over DJ Stewart.
Nice job by Stewart to stay in front, not foul. Another turn.
Impressive for so much of that first half. They get a bucket from Olaniyi late in the shot clock. 9 now for Elijah.
Olaniyi's just got a good ability to score. Just another turnover.
But now it's his turn to be the leader for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, Coach K told us yesterday how he has grown into it. Last year we saw it where he and Trey Jones were really disruptive defensively, and now he's playing even a bigger role with Trey onto the NBA, and Jordan back in a starting role here this afternoon.
He wasn't really getting much action at all, but getting the job done offensively and defensively on this last possession.
Yeah, he has been the spark of a 12-3 run. Here goes Johnson to work again, kicks it out to Goldwire. Inside they go. The lob again to Williams. Got a finger.
The rim, of course. Jalen Johnson has an emphatic basket going to the rim. But DJ Stewart, as well as Matthew Hurt, everyone has been attacking, and so much so that now Brad Brownell going to the zone defense to try to protect his team from foul trouble, but ability for where they want to be as a team. And it didn't happen, coming out of the locker room. And so when you force your coach to have to burn that time out, and for Amir Sims, that wasn't called. But right now, I mean, Duke shooting 49% from the field. Clemson shooting 26. This is a Clemson team that is leading the ACC with a defensive average of 62.4 points per game on the season. But in ACC play, they're giving up 71 a game. And right now, you're Duke. Give yourself a chance and find a way to get shots up, because when you're getting wide open looks, as they have in this entire second half especially, it's going to be.
Well, that's where Duke's got to be better. You do have to make simple plays early. You make simple plays early, you find confidence, you find rhythm in being able to move the basketball. And as the basketball moves, you learn how to read the different defenses that you're going to face.
Really recruited, and he's making it happen. He has the steal and a little aggressive with the pass there, results in the turnover. Hurt lays it in at the closes right, rises up. Big crash of the board from Usher to try to keep it alive, but Duke clears it away. That was Johnson in the kick.
Block shot up high by Walker, and then Goldwire short with the floater. And a miss by Matthew Hurt. Nice feed by Jalen Johnson. Jim Larinaga accurately calls a point forward. Remember, when we had the Duke-Michigan State game early in the year, Tom Izzo compared Jalen Johnson to Magic Johnson. The way he passes the ball, handles the ball at his size. Beverly, strong drive, but couldn't score over DJ Johnson. Got his own rebound and score. 2 minutes gone by, second half, a 2-point Duke lead. Goldwire the miss, and the tip wouldn't go for Moore. Moore has bad memories of their trip here to Miami last year. He broke his hand in their game here in early January. Wound up missing 6 games. Duke won both meetings last year by double figures. They did not play their last 2 for the State or Wake Forest. He missed.
Tim Stoddard played on that NC State team, won the national championship.
DJ Stewart a miss, but Jalen Johnson attacks. Olani saved it. His 78th free throw of the year. And it's short. So a chance for Duke.
Week when you consider he wasn't really getting much action at all, but getting the job done offensively and defensively on this last position. Mike, when you consider, Jalen, and to me, the best part of his game is actually his passing ability. When you look at him, is he a guy, and you mentioned
Duke extends its lead with the triple. It's now 17-5. Joey Baker off the bench for his first points.
Mike, when you talk about Jalen Johnson and you consider the guys that, you playing this final stretch with the 3 fouls.
More offensive rebound with 7 seconds. He attacks and gets blocked. 3 seconds, and then the whistle comes. Duke stepped.
It's going to be some big-time numbers put up from a lot of different guys. Goldwire not doing it in the scoring category, but he's doing it everywhere else.
Yeah, he just got the rebound tip and what would be a hockey assist for the slam by Mark Williams, who blocks the shot at the other end, getting where they're from. He is a former Blue Devil, regardless of whether you want to say he was a Mustang or not.
Those records I know by the back of my hand, so I don't even bother printing those pages out, but just phenomenal what he's been able to do in college basketball as well as international competition throughout his tenure as the head coach. Pressure defensively, and he is a big part of Clemson's success. They need him to get back to that point, and he's a veteran player. We talk about a transfer from Fordham, and right now just 3 points for him, 1 for 7 from the field and 1 for 6 from 3-point range. And I believe that his shooting has affected what he's been able to do defensively as well.
We had a neat conversation yesterday with Coach Brownell where we asked him about Nick Honor, and he said, I wasn't smart enough to.
Duke looking to Matthew Hurt early. They went into him in the post, couldn't find him after a switch on the first possession. But for this Miami team, they've really struggled against zone because they're a poor 3-point shooting team. They're much better against man. That's what Duke started out in.
And Miami does not shoot threes very well, and they don't defend the 3 very well. Jim Larrañaga said that's really been the biggest problem that they've had all year. Isaiah Wong fouled by Jalen from 3, and their opponent shooting 37.5%. They're worst in 3-point defense.
That's one of the worst in the country.
And that's a 3 right up. Beverly's a guy who's played all year long. He would have been a bench player. He's been a starter because of the injuries, but Jim Larrañaga told us he gets treatment on his back every day, and he's a game-time decision before every game.
Got a herniated disc in his back, and he's been playing in a tremendous amount of pain.
Rebound and scores, and here's the largest lead of the night for Duke now. 6 points. That also was the largest lead Miami had in the first half.
Just shows Jalen Johnson his versatility. He can go down into the post. He can play out in the perimeter. He's the best in transition, at least to this point. When he works on that shot and extends that range out, it's just going to be awfully difficult to guard him.
And Miami completely out of sync after they were so impressive for so much of that first half. And one of his best games of the season.
With quality minutes. Duke going back to man now. Anthony Walker's had a terrific game in this one.
Gusty, tough shot. Gak kept it alive. They have a full shot clock.
That was game 74.5 points per game. Virginia put up 85 on them at Little John Coliseum. Florida State put up a huge number, but they actually held Louisville to 50 points on Wednesday, getting back to that Brad Brownell style of defense that they're playing. The offense has not recovered yet since the COVID pause, but defensively, they're back to being the Tigers we got used to seeing.
Pick and roll sets up Sims on the reverse. He's
a little cut caught in between a switch and hedging and getting back. Amir Sims had to stay out front with Wendell Moore. Someone lost track of Matthew Hurt, which I'm not sure how that could possibly happen.
Sims off the feed from Trapp, misfires, rebound pulled.
And that's the main question with him. Can he score enough in the half court to be like your go-to guy? But he does everything else on the floor. I mean, he can play out of the post. You said in transition, his ability to make everyone around him better is special. His IQ for the game, his motor. So he checks so many different boxes. I don't really see him as a point guard at the next level.
Last time out, 25th ranked team in the country. But Corey, as you can see during this last time out, once again, Coach Brownell looking for answers.
Well, and Coach Brownell has a right to be frustrated when you consider the fact of the effort that Clemson put forward in the first half defensively, and then you come out in the first 2 possessions of the second half and give up wide open threes to the Blue Devils, especially Matthew Hurt knocking down the 3 at the top of the key. At some point, someone has to stand up and take accountability for where they want to be as a team, and it didn't happen, coming out of the locker room. Talk about the top 14 picks. He probably has more top 3 picks than anyone as well when you consider what Coach K has been able to do over his 41 years as the man in charge in Durham for the Blue Devils, but pressure defensively. And he is a big part of Clemson's success. They need him to get back to that point, and he's a veteran player. We talk about a transfer from Fordham, and right now just 3 points for him, 1 for 7 from the field and 1 for 6 from three-point range. And I believe that his shooting has affected what he's been able to do defensively as well.
We had a neat conversation yesterday with Coach Brownell where we asked him about Nick Honor, and he said, I wasn't smart enough to.
Averaging just over 19 points per game. Reese Davidson, John Crispin with you as the Blue Devils having lost 3 in a row, John, coming out and hoping that returning to Cameron Indoor can get the ship righted for them. Is off to a good start tonight. Couple of buckets, been effective on the glass. He's moved down to the 5 as Georgia Tech has gone to a smaller lineup. Did so early in the season. It's been effective.
You always wonder how much the players feel that, because coaches would say, "Oh, we don't pay attention to that stuff." Yet in the same breath, they'll say these players hear and feel what's being said about them on social media. Think they're fully aware of that. They don't want to be a part of the wrong side of history.
Georgia Tech, it feels like a long time in his
bound. You've got to go. But I just want to see if Duke, if they can get up, can you manage the end of the game situation? Most teams, if they manage the end of the game situation, well, you don't need a closer. You don't need a big shot. So let's see how this young group can manage it down the stretch.
Look how low that dribble was from Alvarado to keep it alive, and Wright couldn't handle the pass. And look at his back, Johnson down, but Jalen gets a hand on the shot.